Last night, I got an email from YouTube saying, "Hey, Jor, we took down your video because it was dangerous and it was harmful. It was misleading. It was scam. It was a pyramid scheme." And the video was basically probably the least scammy video I've ever made. Not that they're scammy, but this one had a very long-term lens. I said, people get so wrapped up in trying to get as much Bitcoin as they can, as quickly as they can, which is good. You should have some urgency here. But if you give yourself a bit of time, play it out over 5 or 10 years, and just be very consistent with it in small amounts, you're going to make a dent in this thing. So I said, buy 550 sats. Today, it's going to cost you 57 cents per day. And the idea here is that you wanted to get to 1 million sats at the end of 5 years. And so I figured, since my original video was taken down, I'm going to share the link, by the way, to the video if you want to watch it. I uploaded it to Rumble. But I want to discuss it because it's kind of good. I had a couple of things that I missed anyways talking about. So the video got taken down. An hour or two later, I log into YouTube and I start watching this Michael Saylor clip from BTC Prague. And in that video, Michael Saylor was telling people to take out a $1 million loan to buy Bitcoin, remortgage their house to buy Bitcoin, take a loan from their grandparents to buy Bitcoin. And he said that in 21 years, it's going to be worth $21 million. And somehow my 57 cents, 550 sats per day video was dangerous. Not that I think Saylor's strategy is dangerous. I just don't see how they are any different. One's at a much larger scale as well. So he's talking to a little bit different crowd than me here. But that's not the point. I think that Saylor was also incredibly bearish in that video. If he thinks that Bitcoin's only going to be worth that amount in 21 years from now, I would say it's going to be about 5x. I know he has a bigger platform. I know he talks to a different audience. But it's funny because he said that 99.8% of the world's capital, the world's wealth, is still not in Bitcoin. He said 20 basis points. That's where we are today. About 0.02% of the wealth is in Bitcoin today. And he talked about the governments. He talked about the corporations. He talked about the billionaires who are all getting as much Bitcoin as they possibly can right now. And for some reason, he thinks over these next 21 years, moving from 0.02% to something else is only going to cause that big of a run up. I think it's going to be much higher. I think the dollars might even be gone by then, as we know them today anyways. But just kind of following up on yesterday's video, I want to clarify a couple things. So the first part is that there's a saying that says people overestimate the amount of things that they can accomplish in one day and underestimate the amount of things that they can accomplish in 1 year. But I think both of those are bullshit. I think that people overestimate what they can do in 1 year and very much underestimate what they can do in 5 years. Or since this is a Bitcoin channel, we should go 4 years or a Bitcoin cycle. That's kind of what you should be setting your goals at. You should be thinking about 4 years into the future. And if you give yourself a little bit of leeway, you take it easy on yourself and you just be very consistent at something like 550 sats per day, you can become a Bitcoin Satoshi millionaire. I'm not going to say dollars. I don't want YouTube to take this down. A Satoshi millionaire in 5 years at 550 sats per day. You can do the math on that yourself. But the next part I was going to say to that, just to kind of layer on top of that, because that's the people who are kind of just getting into Bitcoin now, and they have these bigger goals of, let's say, 1 million sats or 2 million sats or 10 million sats. But I also think that people who are already in Bitcoin and have a decent sized stack should be following something similar to that. And you can do that with things like Bitcoin Well, Strike, River. And the nice thing about those is you can actually set up a recurring buy. And I want you to make sure that you have a Lightning wallet before you do any recurring buys. Because if you're using these exchanges and sending all these small amounts into your cold storage wallets, that's going to be a problem in the future, or any wallet that's on chain. So step one, set up a Lightning wallet. And if you need a tutorial for that, I'll put a link to Speed and a video that I did talking about the Speed wallet. So you set up your own unique username, a Lightning address. You set that up in your Bitcoin Well, Strike, River account, and you can actually set up like a weekly buy. say $5 a week, and it just automatically comes out of your bank account, goes into your Lightning wallet. And once you have a decent balance built up in your Lightning wallet, that's when you can move it to your on-chain or cold storage device. So I think people should be doing that. Again, even if you have a decent sized stack, I think that this is a really good way to compound Bitcoin over time at very low risk amounts. And you can use these things for like insurance for your pets or your kids' college fund, if colleges are even going to be around in 20 years, maybe a business fund for your kid when they turn of age. Things like this, very small amounts compounded over many years. That's what really grows wealth. So thinking longer term, Saylor was talking about 21 years. I like 4 or 5, start with that, but you should always be looking further down the horizon as well. So that was kind of the part that I wanted to add on to that. And the next thing I wanted to say is that, while I'm here, again, I'm going to put the link to that video in the show notes if you do want to go check that out with the math and how it all works and what that could add up to in the future. But I encourage you. It was a real eye opener for me because, I put a lot of my livelihood in YouTube's hands. And to get an email like that late at night saying that your video was taken down because you violated our policies, it's a scary thing. And so I think that, you might not learn a lot because it happened to me and not you, but this should be a good lesson to kind of decentralize yourself and eliminate the single points of failures in your life, whatever that may be. If that's your job, if you have one stream of income, you should be looking to supplement that a little bit with maybe a secondary job or something you're doing online, something along the lines that isn't, if you got cut off of that one thing, it wouldn't destroy you. And even better, have 10 or 12 or 20 of those things, those income streams coming in. If you can do that, that's where you want to be. That's going to protect you so much over this next decade, is creating multiple income streams. And so with that, another example is instead of just relying on YouTube, I created a Rumble account this morning. And so I encourage people to go check out Rumble. They're Bitcoiners. They actually have Bitcoin on their treasury. They're going to have a new wallet, Bitcoin wallet that's associated with Rumble. And so I created a profile and a channel over there that I'll link in the show notes here if you want to go check that out. So every morning from now on, I'm actually going to be streaming exclusively on Rumble and Zap.stream. So again, I'm trying to take a little bit of reliance off of YouTube here. I'm still going to be sharing clips and stuff like this going forward. But if you want to catch the daily Bitcoin journey every single morning, it's going to be exclusively on Rumble and Zap.stream. So you can find those two there. I'll put all these links in the show notes below here for you to make it easy on you. But that's it. Even though YouTube called it a scam and misleading and dangerous, I think it is the best strategy that you can have, is just very small amounts consistently. And then when you have something bigger, like maybe you get a bonus from work or you get a tax refund or you sell, a bike, something from your house, you can lump some into Bitcoin that way. But I think that slowly over time, you should be looking at setting up daily, weekly, or monthly DCAs just to supplement whatever else you got going on. So think long-term, compound this stuff, have patience, and make damn sure that you're protecting whatever sats you have. People are really underestimating how powerful and how much these sats are going to be worth in the future. So that's it. Hope you enjoyed this one. Hope you check out the other stuff we got going on here. And remember, we are right about Bitcoin. We are right about Bitcoin. And it's becoming more and more evident every single day. Don't listen to the BS, tune it out, focus yourself, focus your energy, and accumulate those sats. Have a great day, the best day of your life today, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.